Quantum of Solace, the second movie from Daniel Craig's era in James Bond, and the direct sequel to Casino Royale. When I first saw Casino Royale, I was amazed and surprised by how good it was. I could not wait for the sequel, hoping it would be just as good, and I was somewhat let down. Now, this has a good opening. It starts off with a car chase with after Bond arresting Mr. White in Casino. This when he's got Mr. White tied up in the trunk of his car while he's trying to take him to this interrogation spot with all these goons chasing him. And it's a cool chase with some car stunts and shootouts. And then they get to the interrogation spot. There's a traitorous agent in there who shoots up the place so Mr. White can escape. Bond chases the agent, and there's a rooftop foot chase through Italy that ends with a fist fight in a bell tower with a go for the gun stunt. Um, and that's a cool action scene, but nowhere near as good as the foot chase at the beginning of Casino. That one was awesome. This one is most of the action scenes in this movie are they're just there for action fans for them to have some enjoyment at action scenes, but just eye candy. There wasn't really much thought or effort put into these action scenes like they did with Casino Royale. And this movie is also like an hour and a 40 something minutes long. And when I found out that runtime, that was a red flag for me because um most Bond movies are like 2.5 hours long, which gives them enough time to tell a good story, deliver some good action and some good character development, relationship development between Bond and the main Bond girl. Um, this one, it's not enough. Doesn't have enough time to do all that, but it works with what it has. Like Felix Leiter, the Bond CIA friend who's this in this reboot series, he's played by a black guy, Jeffrey Wright, who does a good job in the role, and there's a bit more to the character than what we got in Casino Royale, and he's a pretty cool addition. I'm glad he's in this, and I like the conversation between him and Bond at this bar with the SWAT teams coming in to get Bond, and then when the at the end of the conversation, Felix says, Bond, move your ass. And then the SWAT team comes in shooting, and Bond escapes while Felix is arrested. and the main Bond girl, the played by Olga Kurylenko. I think that's how you say her name. I'm not good with foreign names. She plays Camille Montez, a Bolivian woman who is trying to assassinate this Bolivian dictator who's been disposed, who murdered her family when he was in power. He's working for this environmentalist businessman named Dominique Green, and Dominique is using his environmentalist image to hide his evil deeds with this terrorist organization known as Quantum. And Bond is investigating Quantum to find out what they're all about, and also to get revenge on the people who had responsible for his girlfriend Vesper Lynn's death in the casino. And like both Bond and Camille have personal vendettas, and they do discuss that in certain conversations, and but they do have good chemistry, but their their screen time together was not given enough screen time, in my opinion. And she's one of the few Bond girls that he doesn't bed. Like they never make love, but when they say goodbye at the end after the mission's accomplished, they do share a brief kiss. And he doesn't have to bed every beautiful woman he romances, but it is what it is. He does. He does bed this other Bond girl, Strawberry Fields, an MI6 agent. Strawberry Fields. So they're back to giving Bond girls silly names. I thought they were going to do away with all that with Casino Royale, but whatever. Um, and Strawberry Fields, it is kind of a cute name, and Gemma Arterton is all right in the role. And spoiler, her character dies, is murdered by the bad guy. She's covered in oil and dies from that. Just like that's obviously a homage to Goldfinger, where this girl Bond romances at the beginning is covered in gold paint and dies from a skin disease. um, Judi Dench returns as M. She's cool as M as always. Like she she sympathizes with Bond's loss from the last movie, but she still doesn't want him to go like go rogue and do things that he's gonna regret and will give MI6 a bad reputation. But 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 when she does revoke Bond's license to kill and have him suspended, he does like fight his way through these agents and get his stuff back. And she was like, "Okay, you can go get him." And but she gives him a warning, and when he goes to the hideout with him and Camille, they infiltrate it. There's a big shootout. It's all right, and the fist fights between Bond and Green and Camille and the Bolivian general, they're okay. And I like how Olga, she did her own stunts in this movie. She was influenced by previous Bond girls that did their stunts in the action. She was nervous about it, but she overcame it. And she also pulled off the Bolivian accent very well because she said she had a lot of Hispanic friends that helped her, that influenced her accent the way she did it. And she had a dialect coach that taught her very well. She made a pretty good Bond girl. And it sucks that she didn't come back for more. Um, like I said, the story was too short. Could have been extended a bit. And Mark Forster is the director of this, and I like Mark Forster. He's a good director, but he's not as good at directing action as Martin Campbell, who directed the previous movie and also the Bond movie Goldeneye, and my favorite Zorro movie, Mask of Zorro, and the other Zorro movie, Legend of Zorro, which I'm not as big on, but it's okay. Martin Campbell is a great action director, and if he had come back to direct this, he would have nailed it, just like he did with Casino. But all in all, this is an all right Bond movie, but a bit forgettable. I give it a thumbs up. All right, that's my review. If you like it, please hit the like button. Subscribe for more. Thank you. God bless. Bye.